How to play air in Elements Divided. I'm playing on Meta Quest 2, so don't mind if the video is kind of laggy. So, as you for sure are aware, especially if you're an airbender yourself, there's a lot of hate going around for air. People are saying it's a terrible element, which is not true, depending on the person. People are saying it's too spammable. Which, I mean, it sacrifices power for speed. I think it's pretty well balanced. I mean, most players are probably gonna kill you before you kill them anyway. So, to be a good airbender, you should probably use a skin that looks similar to air, aka this. So that way, especially if you're like spamming a lot of moves, it's kind of hard to tell where you are. Especially if players have the health bar turned off in their settings. Also, air's decent for parkour. It's not as good as people say it is. Water's probably the best. It's pretty good maneuverability. A lot of airbenders spam the same moves because most of the moves are not exactly for attacking, but mainly for maneuverability. Like the air sword here, it's spammable. It's for both. The air ball can be used for both. The air shield can be used for both. But otherwise, that's almost all the things you'll ever see an airbender use in an actual match. Why is that? Because to create an air drill, you gotta press grip while you already have an air ball, which can take some time, and especially if you're like in the air, it can be a real pain. And another thing, air bomb and air laser have to be charged up. So yeah, that's another reason why you rarely ever see an airbender use these moves. Anyway, how to play airbender. That's what this video is titled, is it not? So pretend this is a player, specifically an earthbender. Now they're a bit short, sure, but you never want to do this or this, which is what airbenders usually do. As an airbender, air is your best friend. You can use attacks anywhere on the field. You kind of want to spam airball. Now, if you're going against a firebender, firebender, air shield will extinguish that fire. Bubbles will cancel your air shield, so be wary of waterbenders. And for earthbenders, well, it's mainly a game about dodging. They're slow. They're relatively slow. You're made to be fast. So it only fits that's a game about dodging. Another move that's extremely spammable is Air Vortex, which I use a lot, to be honest. Basically, it helps airbenders that are still somewhat new gain some height. It can also help them just slam down on you. Especially if you're like PvPing in the lobby. Now, air wheel. It's good for getting around the lobby, sure. But you rarely ever, and I mean ever, want to use it on the actual battlefield. Why? Your movements are far too predictable, and it takes time to turn. And it's also pretty easy to get caught and stuff. Instead of what you'll normally see good air players do, is just slam their sword on the ground and then use their air vortex for maneuverability. Now, the one exception you want to make for the air wheel, I can make a better example of it on the edge of the map, obviously. Dang it, I've gotta head back to spawn real quick. Anyway, the air wheel is an insanely good recovery. So let's say, I don't know, you're playing Knockout and you get launched insanely far off the map. You can just dash, air wheel. Point your hands up to glide, and then you can just dash into the wall if you turn a little not hard enough. But yeah, you can climb walls with the air wheel, which I find pretty useful. It's similar to most of the other, well, I wouldn't say similar. Like, take rocks, for example, where you kind of have to shoot out gloves. And then water, which pretty self-explanatory. You've got to use these ugly tentacle things, which, don't get me wrong, are great for maneuverability, but let's just be honest, air is the best. And then fire, I don't really have enough levels to show you, sadly. I'm only level 3 on fire. I don't really care about the other elements, I mainly care about air. Anyway, you can mainly just do that. Anyway, so in conclusion, when you're airbender, you mainly just want to bounce around, spamming your non-charging moves. And yeah, again, most people will say that airbending is like trash, just bad all around. It really depends on their preferences. Like, I understand if you main earthbending, you're not used to being able to move around as easily as you can as a air or waterbender. Anyway, chicken battle. So let's just spam these tornadoes up. And let's fight the giant chicken. As you can see, I can block all of his attacks. These represent fire. He has a fire laser he can shoot. And as you can see, my screen's not turning red, meaning I'm not taking any damage. Other than that one shot right there. Anyway, minus constantly tackling you, this is about what fighting a firebender would be like. Albeit a giant firebender, but as you can see, I managed to kill him. I was hardly even trying. And of course, obviously, other benders will not have aim that accurate. Here are all the moves, in case you don't, you know, want to grind it all. Anyway, both ultimates. And yeah. Anyway, when you're using the air sword, when you're actually attacking you, don't want to do this or this. That will just launch you and or make it inaccurate. You want to flick your wrist. As you can see, I'm aiming for the play and it's far more accurate. Anyway, yeah. That's my tutorial. See y'all later.